And the week before that, what did we talk about?
Is it what rejuvenates you?
Yeah, I like that. What rejuvenates you? And kind of like, what do you get out of those moments, right? Of kind of like building in that space. Another thing we added to that was like, we are really talking about like your pace, like really understanding yourself in that moment. And one of the things we touched on between, I think it was like the 2 weeks before that and these last few weeks is like, how do you listen to like what's going on around you that like speaks to you? So this is going to be more of an open conversation, similar to like Wednesday. I'm not going to talk as much. I'm still going to talk a little bit to emphasize points. So I'm going to be picking on you all for your activity. If we can have cameras on for this, let's make sure, let's keep our cameras on so we can see everyone's face. But what I really want us to talk about is what has this week said to you? And what has this spoke to you? Whether that's a frustration, something that's really exciting, where you're joyful, happy, or something that you really learned about yourself or what you really want to accomplish. It can be about self or it can be about career. I think these are good things to really focus in on, like a good starting point to understand, like, oh, okay, this is what this week has actually me, and just reflect on that time. Because I think a lot of times we just like, some of y'all might have just woke up, some of y'all had y'all day and it's like, I'm a little tired. I'm trying to get through this Friday so I can enjoy the weekend, right? So it's good to stop, reflect, and really think about what has this week said to you. Anyone have any initial thoughts? Whatever the week has said to you, go for it.
I guess I'll start. This week, I think my highlight of my week probably is just I received last night an academic achievement from last year's class. I made top 1% of my class last year. So I received an award for that. So this week, I think I started the week with some doubts. And then it probably just reassured me that, I shouldn't be so hard on myself, that I am capable of, certain things. This week was also, I don't know if anyone else did this, but it was the lucky number in the year. So it was the second of the second month, 2022. So there was a lot of twos. So I definitely honed in the manifestations there for this week. So yeah. So I think that would be my top lesson, is just to keep positivity flowing.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to go?
I can go. So the week before this is when I was been talking a lot about it pays to plan out your week and to really reflect on the week. I was like, okay, let's actually try this. So 2 weeks ago, I had actually on Google Calendar, try to plot things out. I have time for this, back to back to back. It didn't go completely as planned, but at least in my head, going into the week, I had some type of vision to play off of. And then this week I didn't do it, and it really, really showed, unfortunately. So it was a lesson in if you take that time, whether it's Friday or Sunday before next week and plan it out, it's just going to feel a lot better going into it. And so I felt that very strong contrast of one planned week versus one unplanned week. So it was a reminder to try out the planned week again.
Felt that.
I feel that. And when I tell you all these things, I'm doing the same thing. So I'll share two of mine real quick, where it's similar to Nico, where Saturday is my planning day and I'm trying out this new system, this new checklist. And I think the week before, I think I did really well, where I was able to say, Monday, I'm going to do this, Tuesday, do this. This week, not as great. There was a lot of things unexpected things. So you have to shift your schedule around. I think it's being okay with those shifts, because a lot of those shifts were somebody's family member passed away. So going to that wake and then having to get there and all of that stuff. But it shows a different level of support. And I think that is something I was happy with. And then also, as much as I like networking, I also don't like networking as well. And I had to go to this mixer yesterday, which was cool. But I really didn't want to go. But it was good for me to socially put myself out there and try new things socially and try to remember people's name, try to build camaraderie, even though we're not really on the team, but we are kind of on the team. So things where you can build momentum off of it. And I think through that, even got some new people on the panel that I'm excited about, and former interns who I've just reached out to and just really trying to challenge myself to check in with people and see how they're doing along this journey. So yeah.
Was that the guy that was filming the basketball, former videographer that you guys posted about?
No, I actually did not reach out to him. Yeah, I didn't reach out to him. He reached out to me, but that was like 2 weeks ago. It's a different name actually, but yeah.
Okay.
She's gonna be on the career panel.
Yeah, shout out Matt from the Bulls. He was really nice. Had a conversation with me as well, and yeah, very nice guy.
Very good guy. There's a lot of other interns like that, so you'll see some more interns coming in chatting about that stuff. McKenna, do you want to go?
Sure, I'll go. For me personally, this week was just a good reminder to allow myself to rely on other people. I'm sure you all noticed that I wasn't in the meeting on Wednesday. I wasn't feeling the greatest mentally, so I went and took some time for myself and to see my mom and stuff, and remembered that I can reach out to people. It was just a good reminder of that, and that I have more people that I can talk to than I think sometimes. So
gotta take time for yourself. I think that's what this is all about, right? It's more so reflecting and chatting and letting it out.
Yeah.
2 people left. One of y'all can go.
Well, I'll go. My week hasn't been too crazy or bad, which is nice because it's been a roller coaster since the last few weeks. I think I finally reached a plateau stage where it's harmonious. I think a good highlight was Tuesday for one of my clubs. We had a guest speaker, and she actually was an alumni of that college. And she's basically a music therapist, and it was a really good event. And the club that we collabed with, they said they'd love working with us again, and they really enjoyed it. So it was really nice to get that confirmation, just because it's something new. And when something's new, you want things to work out. And, I'm kind of getting reassurance every time with every new event that I host that I'm doing something right. So, it brings me hope for the future of the club.
What's a music therapist, Kim?
So pretty much, well, there's a lot. There's a affinitive term, and then there's a multiple term. So I'm going to give you some multiple terms. It's pretty much a person who kind of caters music towards helping people through all age groups in terms of illness or just support. So it can really be for anyone from kids all the way to seniors. So for example, you can think of if you're in a senior care home and there's dementia patients, you play a song and it brings up that nostalgia feeling and they start remembering some things from it or at the time. Yeah.
And here I thought you were saying a more fancier word for a DJ. Meanwhile, it's a little bit deeper than that. Sorry. I was
yeah, no, it's a lot different.
I'm the last person anyways. So what I learned this week, it was firstly, I used to be very kept to myself, right? And I know that sometimes I try to put myself out there mostly, right? But I just never really got myself to do that. I don't know why. But I feel it was just that confidence building thingy, which took an entire year to do. And, having the right people around to actually push me towards the right direction and stuff like that. So I think for me, just personally this week, I noticed that I can be very social sometimes. But in most times I can be very kept to myself. And I felt that was okay, right? Because I feel when you put yourself in situations where you're supposed to talk with people, especially the whole weekend orientation that's going on, you're told to speak with people, tell people what to do, right? But there was some day that I wasn't really feeling it, and I was just meh, right? But I own that. Sometimes I try to shove it down and I'm not supposed to feel this way, but I owned that, and I was nah, I'm not really feeling it today. So instead of actually just forcing it, I just let it be. And I think it's just that whole growing situation, that whole scenario of just socializing and just being around people in a sense. So yeah.
That's the toughest part. It's pushing yourself to do those one-off situations where it's just I don't really want to do this and I don't really want to be here, but I'm just gonna try and see how it goes. And usually when it happens, I feel like usually something good happens from it, right? I think usually we see something in ourselves that we usually aren't able to see. And I think of it like I don't have like a personal trainer or anything, but the reference I've heard is like when you're trying to accomplish something in the gym or something of that nature, and your body is saying no, but you actually can like lift it one more time or like run one more time or do whatever that thing is. I think it's a mental point. And once we're able to like get past that point, that's where we see a space of like more opportunity, right? Like, oh, if I can do this, then that means I actually could do these other things as well. So I think that's something that can be really important. I want to give us a few moments to think of for next week. As we close out this week, I think it's good that, I think it's good, but I think we're closing out like a chapter of like, okay, this was the first half of the internship and we're taking a break for that week. Some of you are not going to take the break, whatever you want to do during that time. But as we close out that week, how do we want to finish that week? And when I say that week, I'm talking about next week. So I want us to lay out 2 to 3 goals that we want to outline for ourselves for next week. I'm going to break you all up into 2 breakout rooms, and then you're going to come back. We'll chat about what those goals are, and then we're going to kind of just move into the next meeting. Sound good? What are your goals for this week?
My goal is to work better with time management and to have more faith in myself, just because when I get stressed, it goes inward and I don't project it onto people, and it's still not a healthy form of stress. So I definitely got to work better on my time management when it comes to assignments and stuff like that.
For me, because we're like headed back to school, my main goal is to like start off the week with a bang and kind of like setting out what it is that I want to accomplish for the year in terms of like academics and like going into the year and the next year as well, and how I'm gonna, plan out, in terms of like setting like bursaries and getting really good marks in general. Like, yeah.
Love that. We love that. Love these goals. Who else wants to go?
Sabrina and I pretty much had like almost similar, exactly the same goals, was just to get all of our projects done, like for each part of what we're doing, so that we can enjoy the time that we get to have. Like Sabrina's going to a music festival, and she's really excited for that. And then like I am doing stuff with friends that week because my birthday is the following Tuesday, and why celebrate on a Tuesday when you can celebrate on a weekend?
That's fly. I like that. What music festival are you going to?
It's called It's Personal, so which is like really ironic. But yeah, it's kind of like a mixture of different DJs, like techno, Skrillex, and then like pop, and then a little bit of like rap in there. But yeah, it's just like a free day in a big field with all different types of artists, and it's for like a specific age group. So it's next week Saturday. So yeah.
Nice. All right. Who else?
I think the goal for next week is, make a schedule, but be honest with the schedule. I think there are certain things that give me energy and there's certain things that take energy from me. And, taking that into account when making that schedule, don't just be like, I'm just going to work, because I'll just get burnt out. Yeah, being honest about that and making a schedule that reflects that, I would say.
I like that. I'm going to set my goal for this week as well, to be okay with the things that you can't control. Right, and let those things happen and learn from them and then readjust. It's always things I can't control. Good. All right. Let's give each other a round of applause. Beautiful, beautiful. And remember, focus on that dream, that goal of what you want to do. That's the reason why we're here, is how can we focus on that dream and that goal? Like I said, I believe in what y'all can accomplish. I want y'all to believe in yourself as well, and speak kindly to yourself, because I think that's something that we don't do. Like this week when I didn't hit my goals on my specific days, I was like, dang, I'm fucking up. But I need to really be kind with myself and be like, you know what, it's okay. Let's really, and it's similar to actually what Nico did. See, I'm gonna learn from Nico today and all of y'all as well, but why did this happen, right? Like discover and learn more about yourself to be like, okay, I set these goals. Why did it happen? Oh, maybe I didn't set realistic expectations for myself because I knew I had 12 other things to do. So it's not really that I messed up. It's just my perception on what I thought I could accomplish was a little far-fetched. And it's okay if I can just get 3 things done every day and I get those 3 things done for the week, I feel great about it, right? And then maybe next week it can be 4, maybe the week after it can be 5, but building that momentum off of that is so important.